We're hearing reports this morning of another fire at a business downtown. This one is at the corner of Tankard and Queen. Sault Ste. Marie firefighters are on the scene tackling the blaze. We'll have more details on the fire when they become available. Meanwhile, it might be a good idea to avoid the area this morning. You'll recall a huge fire on Queen that destroyed 2 local businesses at the end of January across from the GFL Memorial Gardens, and Studio 10 was also lost to a fire. It might be a foggy drive to work this morning, like driving into a cloud, because that's actually what it is. Foggy overnight periods stretch well into the mornings at this time of the year. Now throw in some heavy rain. Environment Canada issued a fog advisory and now a heavy rain statement for the area north to Lake Superior Park, Sault Ste. Marie and St. Joe's Island. Periods of rain, heavy at times, are forecast to begin this morning. Rainfall amounts in the 15 to 25 millimeter range are expected by late this evening. A few isolated thunderstorms are also possible this afternoon. The heavy rain will combine with mild temperatures near 7 degrees Celsius to produce potentially significant snowmelt and localized ponding on streets and other low-lying areas. The heavy rain and mild temperatures are associated with a strong Colorado low that will transition across northern Ontario through tonight. Transport Minister Marc Garneau explains the government's decision to ban the Boeing 737 MAX 8 aircraft from Canadian skies, effective immediately and until further notice. An Ethiopian Airlines 737 MAX 8 aircraft crashed on Sunday minutes after takeoff, as I'm sure you know by now, killing 157 people on board, including 18 Canadians.
As a result of new data that we received this morning and had the chance to analyze, and on the advice of my experts, and as a precautionary measure, I am issuing a safety notice. This safety notice restricts commercial passenger flights from any operator of the Boeing 737 MAX 8 or MAX 9 variant aircraft, whether domestic or foreign, from arriving, departing, or overflying Canadian airspace. This safety notice is effective immediately and will remain in place until further notice.
On Tuesday, City Police arrested 25-year-old Caitlin LaForge of no fixed address with theft under $5,000. Police say that on the 5th, LaForge went into a business on Cora Road and tried to leave without paying for items worth about $100. Store security attempted to prevent her from leaving, but she fled the area. A warrant was issued and she was taken into custody. She's charged with 1 count of theft under $5,000. She was held for bail court. A House of Commons Justice Committee meeting where opposition MPs wanted to summon former Attorney General Jody Wilson-Raybould was promptly shut down by the Liberals yesterday. Opposition MPs say the governing party is trying to keep a lid on some of the details of the SNC-Lavalin affair. The Liberals said the committee had originally agreed to meet on the matter next week, and the opposition attempt to override that decision was not acceptable.
What we saw today was Justin Trudeau directed his committee members to shut down the Justice Committee investigation into his SNC-Lavalin corruption scandal. We came forward today simply to ask him to remove the remaining gag order on Jody Wilson-Raybould's testimony and let her complete her efforts to tell the truth. He sent in his majority to shut down that discussion without a debate and ensure that Canadians will never know the truth.
In an interview yesterday, International Trade Minister Jim Carr said Canada still hasn't seen the evidence China used to block canola shipments from one of Canada's largest grain producers. A Chinese government spokesperson has said Beijing's move this month to suspend canola imports from Richardson International came after hazardous organisms were detected in the company's product. Carr said Canada is pushing to solve the economically important matter, but but it needs China to provide proof to back up the claims. Alberta Premier Rachel Notley issued a statement last week demanding that Prime Minister Justin Trudeau fight for canola farmers and all related jobs. Notley added the issue could cost Alberta farmers hundreds of millions of dollars and lead to a loss of up to 3,000 jobs. A provincial politician who was suspended indefinitely from the Progressive Conservative caucus last month says he was removed for clashing with some of the Premier's most senior advisors. In a letter to party members in his Eastern Ontario riding, Randy Hillier claims he wasn't suspended for comments he made in the legislature, as Premier Doug Ford has said, but because of the long-standing tensions he has with two of Ford's senior advisors over what's expected of caucus members. Hillier, a veteran Tory legislator known for being outspoken, says he challenged the justification for his suspension and was given a list of what he called questionable and childish grievances by backroom operatives. Among them, he alleges, were complaints that he didn't clap enough in the House and wasn't actively sharing posts about the government's activities on social media. Ford has said Hillier was suspended for comments he made as parents of children with autism packed the legislature's galleries in protest of the government's recent funding changes. Some of the parents said that Hillier said yada 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 to them near the end of question period, but Hillier maintains the remarks were directed at the opposition, New Democrats. Ford was asked yesterday whether he wanted Hillier out of caucus. He said, "I can't say I want him out, but I think we need a little time to run through a few things with Randy," he said. "I'll sit down with him and talk to him." He declined to elaborate further, calling the matter a personal issue.